It is the evening before Thanksgiving, and I'm out in the shop doing a little body work, sanding on a vehicle, and I thought, anything to take your mind off of sanding. I thought I'd do a quick little video thinking about turkeys and overheating turkeys and cooking and baking turkeys, and I've had some people ask me what I did to this motor on my previous video when I mentioned I boiled it over and heat seized the engine, and if I knew how I did that or what I did. And it is actually pretty much a painful story. So I said 10 some years ago, 2011-ish, 12-ish, when that car was, in the previous video I think I said 05 when I took it out of the barn. It was not 05, it was like 2011, I think, if I actually look at real dates. But this motor ran great, never ran really hot, it ran warm. But it would boil over or lose antifreeze. It would overheat and come out, and it would have this little chrome pressure tank here, overflow tank, and fill up and go down, things that direction. But it would basically airlock or would blow a little out, and I would lose antifreeze, and then it would overheat and it would get warm. And if I add a little coolant, then it would run great and everything would be fine. And the day it actually heat seized, it was a super hot day. We're out cruising around. I wasn't even looking at the gauge. Boiled it over. I was way back, away from vehicles and other things. I ran to a place, tried to pull in, run in and get some water. Well, while it was sitting there, I left it idling so it could sit. Well, it got shut off. By the time I came back to get water to fire up, it was locked just hard. It's crazy tight. The motor was just locked up. Got home, let it sit for a couple days, put a wrench on the front of the motor, and I could not turn the motor over. It was just completely heat seized. And up to that point, I thought I was fighting with the overflow bottle. I was looking at putting a bigger bottle because the modern motors, if you look at those, a newer car with the HEMIs, things like that, they have a huge overflow bottle on the side because they blow in and blow out and they kind of put it together. And I also kind of almost back up. Like, you have to understand the heart-wrenching side of this is when I built this car, I had teenage girls at home. I sold my dirt bikes. I sold my Harley V-Rod I had just for this engine. I had a 440 that I was going to put in it, and I was going to go kind of a stockish vehicle, but I've had other things that way. And this thing was so rough. Like, the fenders were horrible. The floorboards were gone. The trunk was gone. And it's a great candidate for a toy. It was not, the original motors were, nothing was there. The car, I don't even think it was a 318. I think maybe it was a 318 car when it was new. But I wanted it fun and fast. And, these were hot little motors at the time. These are Eagle heads, and I put different heads on it. It has a Mopar cam in it. The motor's built. It was built well, and I was stretched really, really tight when I built it. So there wasn't much there for the budget, and it was 100% done myself. I did it in my garage. I did the interior, everything. There is nothing on this car, from mounting and balancing to the paint, to everything was done by me in the garage. I didn't take it somewhere and have anything done. Anyway, so I had a little, like I said, my heart and soul kind of into it, kind of thing. So I parked it, put it in the shed, I closed the hood, I covered the car cover. About a month or two after I was working on somebody else's car and we were talking about overheating issues, I asked him, and it just came to me, I was like, hey, did you ever check your radiator cap? If your cap's too light, you'll blow the antifreeze out and it will start to overheat. And as I said, overheat, I kind of paused and thought, oh my God, I got a sinking stomach, a feeling in my stomach. I went out in the shed, uncovered the car, and this double core aluminum radiator that I have in this thing had a little chrome radiator cap on top of it. It wasn't even this cap at the time, because that cap is been thrown as far as my arm could throw, because when I opened the hood and checked the little chrome radiator cap that came with this radiator when I bought it, that was basically just a dust cap. I think it was like a 5-pound radiator cap was what was on the car. I never even thought about checking the pressure. You look at a radiator cap, tells you the pounds. This one says 16 pounds, which would probably be close to this car. I think these cars need to be like 16 or 18 pounds because they build a lot of pressure. They run warm. They run a lot warmer than like a 318 or 360 or 440, something that way. But I basically smoked this motor over a $5 or $10 radiator cap. You want to talk about being kicked in the guts. That is literally why this has been sitting in a shed for so long. That destroyed me. I was so upset that I didn't want to touch the car again. So it's taken 10 plus years for me to get over it. So that's the reason you don't overheat your turkey. Don't burn your turkey this Thanksgiving. Hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy your friends and family. And peace out. You guys have a great one.